goodness, my life in a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. I guess I could hang up now. But anyway, what an honor once again. How are you feeling? First thing I have to ask you, how are you, your family, your staff, your friends? How are you coping?
Oh, bless your heart. Yeah, I'm just fine. I went to the gym this morning. I've gotten into a habit of doing that. I found out that my clothes fit better when I go to the gym. So, yeah, everything is good.
Okay.
I'm, of course, like everybody else, I'm confined to my house, which I don't like too much, but, we've got to be very cautious now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for asking. I'm fine.
Okay, great. That's great. And taking all the precautions and listening to the president and the governor, and like you said, you're fine, and you're taking care of yourself and making sure everything's. That's great, because everybody's out there thinking about you. And it's funny how I was just thinking about you when I got the phone call. But that's great. And so you're well, and that's good. That's good. So now what do you do for all this time? Because you kind of have to be isolated besides the gym. What have you been doing all this for the last month and a half?
I've been trying to find a golf course that's open, because that's my other passion besides singing. Love golf, always have. Was getting pretty good at it, and would like to keep my hand in the game. But of course, things are shuttered down, and I understand it completely. But I did get some information this morning, and before I know it, I'll be out there hitting golf balls.
Great. I think the last time I asked you, any holes in one at all in your career of loving golf?
I had 5.
Whoa. That's a lot of buying liquor for everybody in the bar when you get there. Hey, I like what I read here, Johnny. A hugely successful balladeer who possesses an incredibly distinctive voice and shows remarkable durability and professionalism. So I guess the durability is from your athletic background, and the professionalism is from Dad and the family.
Well, my dad was my big hero in more ways than one. He and my mom raised 7 kids on domestic wages, but he was a singer. And of course, I love my dad. I hung out with him all the time. We went fishing and hunting together. And of course, it rubbed off on me, and lo and behold, I became a singer, and that's the way I make my living. Also, it's I don't know. I was gonna say something, and I forgot my.
But I think your father taught you your first song, "My Blue Heaven," if I remember.
Yeah, Dad was an old-fashioned guy, naturally, because he was an old guy, and I loved him very, very much. I learned so much by growing up under his tutelage, he and my mom, and my 6 brothers and sisters, and I started to sing at an early age, and I was very, very fortunate to find a teacher from the time I was 13 years old until later on in life, who stuck by me and taught me free of charge all those years. But I was fortunately able to show my appreciation a little bit later on in life for my voice teacher.
And that's when your dad took you to Connie Cox, if I do remember.
That's her name. Yeah.
That's great. By the way, jump ahead a little. All the concerts are canceled or on hold, right? What's the latest with that? Because people have been asking.
You certainly don't want to be the cause of putting people in harm's way by, getting people to come to performance. So I'll wait until things are calmed down and everybody is where they're supposed to be, and I'll sing again. I'll get back out in public at least, because I sing around the house a lot myself.
Yeah. Well, we should remind everyone to just check your website here and there, and when things start to get a little better, and then they reschedule the concert, because I know people are very excited to getting back out there, and a lot of people disappointed as well. But the best way to do it is just keep checking your website for your schedule once things slow down, hopefully in a month or two, and then reschedule and get back out there probably by the fall, hopefully. Oh, by another thing, Johnny Mathis, should I call you Dr. Johnny Mathis, since you've been awarded an honorary degree?
I think they're being very nice by adding that to my name. But oh, sure. What am I doctor of, though? A doctor of music. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. Johnny Mathis, ladies and gentlemen, known around the world, and just a terrific talent, great songs, great music, and just tremendous. And it's always an honor to speak to you every year. And anyway, back at George Washington High School, did they talk about doctor? Did they give you a statue or something, honor you there back at the high school?
Oh, yeah. You know, I was very, very fortunate to go to a wonderful school, and the teachers were all very nice to me, because I was president of the student body, so I was very rarely in my classroom because I was busy taking care of the kids all the time and their wishes and what have you as president of the student body. So my teachers were very, very kind to me. I hope I learned enough in the times that I was in class. But anyway, I had a wonderful, wonderful life growing up in San Francisco. And the school system was great, and I learned to read and write very quickly.
Johnny, last couple of times I spoke to you and aired the interview, the first thing people told me, they said, you know, I was really surprised to hear that he was such a great athlete, and he could have went that way, you know, the Olympics and everything else. People, I don't know why they would be surprised. I guess they just know you as that romantic singer. They don't think of you jumping over almost 7 feet bar. Amazing.
Well, you know, when you're a kid, you do a lot of crazy stuff. I got to be a pretty good high jumper. I wasn't very good in the track aspect of it, but the field courses, I held a couple of high jump records, and my claim to fame was that I broke the famous basketball player Bill Russell's high jump record at one of my competitions. And Bill Russell and I are pals, have been for all of his years playing with the Boston Celtics. And I let him know on every occasion that we've been together, and we've been together a lot over the years now, how proud I was of beating his high jump record. Because Bill Russell was 6'11", and I was 5'7". I give him a bad time about it.
Yeah, that's great. Great story. Like I said, I always get remarks about that. All right, so Johnny, you got your big break. You were singing in a nightclub, and someone heard your voice, and that's really started the ball rolling for your career. A place called Black Hawk nightclub.
Well, I was very fortunate to grow up in San Francisco, and they were very lenient with letting young people go into nightclubs and things like that. So at an early age, I would go with my brothers or my sisters or even my dad to a local nightclub where they served liquor. But I had to be very, very quiet, of course, and not let anybody know I was there. But eventually, when I became of age, I sang in those nightclubs, and that's where I was discovered by a wonderful, wonderful man from Columbia Records called George Avakian, who was in charge of jazz music, and he wanted me to become the next jazz singer on Columbia Records. But I did get an opportunity to sing songs that I was capable of, and most of them were not jazz.
Right, right, right. And of course, Johnny, the big decision in your life, you're going to the Olympic trials or you're going to New York. How did you ponder that?
Well, I did have an opportunity to go to the trials as a high jumper, and they were being held at the University of California. But as luck would have it, my dad and I had met a man from Columbia Records recently, and during the same week that I was to go to the trials as a high jumper, he called me from New York City and said that we've heard your recordings. My dad and I made a little amateur recording and sent it to the people at Columbia Records. And they called me and wanted me to come back to New York to make my first recording professionally at the same time that I was to go to a trial for the Olympics as a high jumper. So I was a little kind of mixed up at the time.
Yeah.
But my father, of course, was my best pal, and he's the reason that I sing. And he looked at me as if to say, "Oh, son, you're not going to turn down this opportunity, are you?" So out the door went my high jumping career, and in the door came my musical career.
Well, I guess it was a great choice, that's for sure. And, Johnny, now, you've recorded so many songs, so many albums, but nothing like the first one. And how excited were you when you did the Johnny Mathis album? Bring us back to that time.
Well, I was, and always have been, a big fan of so many jazz singers, jazz-orientated singers, I might say. People like Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, so on, Billy Eckstein, and those were my vocal heroes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I jumped at the opportunity to make my first recordings. And fortunately, it was with the head of jazz. His name was George Avakian. He was very kind to me, and I made an album of songs with a lot of very famous jazz musicians. And the only good thing about the album, I thought I sang all right, but evidently it wasn't what the public was interested in at the time. But it did give me an opportunity to meet a man by the name of Mitch Miller, who was in charge of popular music from Columbia Records, and I ended up recording with him. I think my first recording was a song called Wonderful, Wonderful, and then I did Chances Are, and It's Not For Me To Say, and Misty, and so I was on my way, but not very jazzy.
Yeah, well, it's very easy to say that to this day, I mean, people just love those songs, and it's just tremendous, tremendous, tremendous work. And you have one song that I always listen to called Good Night, Dear Lord, and it has a great video with that. When I'm in my solemn mood, I listen to that song. You remember that song you recorded?
I certainly do. When I became successful with my recordings, there were times when they would let me sing whatever I wanted to, and I always wanted. I grew up in going to the church with my mom and my dad, and some of my brothers and sisters, and I wanted to sing some of the music that I had heard in the churches that I went to. I went to all kinds of churches. I went to Catholic church and the Holy Rollers, and I went to. I was all over the place as far as Christian music was concerned. And they gave me an opportunity to record an album, and I did some things. I also went to school with a lot of Jewish guys, and I would go to their church services and temple. And I recorded the Kol Nidre and Eli and some of the Swing Low, Sweet Chariot and all kinds of religious things.
Well,
and I've been very lucky over the years that I had a wonderful voice teacher who taught me free of charge, by the way. I had no money, but I did work around her house, and I cleaned her apartment, and I cleaned her studio, and I waited between her paying students until she had some time, and she would teach me. And that went on for about 5 or 6 years, and that is the foundation of my voice training. I was very, very lucky and very grateful, have been grateful all these years to that wonderful lady who taught me at an early age.
Well, besides cleaning the house and stuff, did you do any cooking for her? Because I hear you're a pretty good cook.
Oh, well, I had to do that for my mom. She wanted me to sing some Christmas music, and of course, I think it's about the second or third album that I recorded was, I said, I got to sing some Christmas music for my mother.
Well, Johnny, now that you mentioned Christmas music, it is not Christmas unless you listen to Johnny Mathis sing Christmas songs. And going back to the Christmas specials on TV, I mean, I don't know anything that's better than you singing Christmas songs. And when you sing Ave Maria, and of course Silent Night, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. And it's just remarkable, the sound that you make with those beautiful songs.
Well, thank you so much. I think a lot happens. The reason that I do that, my voice teacher insisted that I learn and be associated with all kinds of different music, and we sang in languages. I sang in German and French and Italian, and it was fun. And I have been able to utilize that training that I had with her singing in languages because I've traveled all over the world, and goodness knows how fortunate it was that I could sing in Italian and in French when I go to these different countries. And it was all because she was very adamant that I should learn to sing in languages.
Well, you talk about